Hi, I've been birding in Costa Rica for 2 months, and I am here to tell you that my top birding spot experience was at Selva Biological Station. I found this place on Cornell Ornithology's lab hotspot list. This is one of the best ways to identify good places to bird wherever you're going. And so I headed out to La Selva not knowing what to expect. And I got there and was disappointed by the accommodations, to say the least. They are very outdated and very bare bones. Clean, however, there are bugs, there are cockroaches, and damp and no AC. So I was like, oh wow, this isn't very nice. However, the place is amazing, and I highly recommend you look beyond the accommodations. Go there and look for the birds and experience the rainforest. The La Selva Biological Station has been in existence since 1968 and was funded a lot by USAID. And so there's a bunch of students studying there and a bunch of scientists teaching them and doing research. And so you will see them while you're there. Mainly at the dining hall, because they're usually in the classrooms. When I was out in the trails, I didn't really see any of them. But in the dining facility, which is great outdoor spot in the middle of the station developed area, which has great food. They serve a free breakfast with your accommodations, and you can get additional meals for $15 each, lunch and dinner. I recommend you just buy everything and don't leave, because if your purpose is to enjoy nature, the food is good enough not to leave and go out and look for anything. Spend your time there, maximizing birding first thing early in the morning. Get out early, head over to the bridge that goes over the river, look for birds there, and then head beyond. I recommend checking out the garden areas that are close to where the classrooms are and additional buildings on the other side of the river. That is a really good spot for photography. Later in the day when the conditions are right for getting really good photos, but really good in the morning for spotting species there at eye level, because the canopy is a little bit lower and there's shorter trees, so you're good to get eyes on a lot of species there. And then I recommend going out into the rainforest. Make sure you have closed-toe shoes. I went alone. They don't recommend going alone. I prefer to bird alone, so I went alone. I just didn't go too far onto the trail. You could go for miles. So I went at maximum 2 miles down the trail, and markings on the trail weren't that great, so I had to find my way back. A couple times I got a little confused, but the trails are actually very wide, and I was actually surprised at how well cleared the trails are. I didn't even need boots. I just used my hiking boots, so I didn't need rubber boots. Just came out with my binoculars and camera, but for some reason I always forgot the bugs cream. I don't recommend sprays. I use the bug cream. I don't like aerosols. I think they get into the environment too much. They sell a cream here with DEET that you can pick up at the local grocery store, so you don't need to bring it from overseas. And I always forgot, and I got lots of mosquito bites. There are lots of mosquitoes there. But if you're prepared, you go out there, head out, expect to get bit, expect to be sweaty, but you'll hear and see a lot of birds. And if you use the Merlin app, keep in mind that the algorithm is still learning. So when you're out there, you will hear lots of birds, and the algorithm is going to misidentify many of them. So don't count on what you're hearing and seeing being identified being accurate. It takes a little bit more investigation. It's best to get eyes on the species, or actually look at the spectrogram and really compare, get some expert opinions to make a determination if you didn't actually see the bird. The algorithm misidentified many species when I was in Costa Rica, so don't count on it, but it's a useful tool to help you. And there is Wi-Fi down at the station, but as you get further into the rainforest, your signal will probably drop off. So that said, highly recommend La Selva Biological Station as a definite to-do when you're in Costa Rica for birding. You also see monkeys. I saw them quite a lot. So monkeys are both in the developed areas and in the rainforest. I actually didn't see any snakes at all. I was surprised, but I was not able to secure a night walk. The reason being was I was the only one that expressed interest, and they don't do it just for one person. So that is a con of traveling alone. So if I get back there, I hope to do a night walk there. It's actually one of the more affordable night walks. They're often very expensive when you are at a place, at a hotel. They actually mark them up pretty high. And I really wanted to do one there because it's actually a more wild space than a hotel trail. So if you can get on the night walk. There's also guides that take up people out, and you can book the guides in the night walk at the visitor center. I highly recommend tapping into their knowledge at the visitor center. If you have any questions, I felt very comfortable and safe there. It's a gated facility, and there's a secondary accommodations for tourists that is just up the road that connects with the trail, and that also has a gate with an attendant there. So if you park, you're in a little gated space. And all the accommodations need to be renovated, just keep that in mind. But if you need Wi-Fi, you can get it for sure near the visitor center dining hall. So often people will go out birding and then they're sitting there while they're eating, jumping on the internet to connect with people. Yeah, so you have everything you need there. All the food and everything that you could need. They sell the bug cream in the visitor center also if you forget to bring it. They have some other essentials there. So if you forget anything like that, you can pick it up there. Just make sure you bring your hiking shoes and your binoculars and hopefully a camera that has a good lens, and download those apps that can be helpful for your identification. And good luck with your trip to La Selva Biological Station. I'm going to do a separate video on my next top places because this is running long. Join me for my next video on my second top location, which is the RNL Observatory Lodge.